YouTube. Again, pardon YouTube, like my kind of like tone, like I'm feeling like a little bit under the weather.
I'm not. Well, I am a little bit, but
What's
I'm feeling a little better than Yatta.
what's going on? Again, this is like actually like the second time that I got sick in this season. But you got with everybody, having the unfortunate news of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna passing on Sunday.
Hmm.
We here on Yatta Debates would like to talk about, well, discuss, honoring, um, especially iconic people's legacy, as well as like dealing with these sort of like traumatic events, and especially, going through the way that they happen. And just wonder, like, just really discussing some ideas about how we can like get through these kind of difficult times, as well as what we can do to like preserve our loved ones' legacies, and as well as our icons, people that we feel like that we look up to, and who have really made like a true impact on either our lives or the world, because it is something that is very important. I believe it's just like we see like with just some of our like I don't want to call them like quote unquote heroes, but people that we view as iconic is the reason that
And
we
legends.
yeah the reason that we look at them in that light is because of the impact that they made, like how like if that's whether you like this person or you really care for what they did, one thing that you cannot deny is that the impact that they had on whether whatever genre that they were in, but also on the world and the people that and the things that they influenced to this day.
And the lives that they touched, and the children that grew up who are now probably adults that they've impacted as well too.
Yeah. Like I mean, cause like one of the things is it's just like anyone who's in our age group, like we grew up like seeing Kobe, like we were young, we were like 8, 9, 10 years old or whatever, but like we grew up like seeing like his entire career, like watching him do like these astounding feats, like watching him hit so many game winning shots and just like his competitive drive and nature. And for me, like I'm a Celtics fan. Like I'll let you know right now, I'm a Celtics fan, and they had like they got like a long standing rivalry. So it's just like him, like I remember we went against them in like the 2008, 2007, 2008 season. That's like when we just got like Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and all of them, and we like smashed them. And then like the next year, I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna do it again. And then
Nope.
they come right back. And that's one thing that I'm gonna say immediately, like about him, is just like one thing that's like really is inspiring about him. And people might not agree, but like his competitive nature, like his drive to like okay, I want to be the best. Like what I mean, like I want to be like Colt. Like he really put the work in to get that imprint and that impact that he had on the world, not just here, but like across the world. And just like not to throw any shade on like on anybody, but like what when I don't know if you watch it, but like when Dwight Howard came to like the Lakers, he couldn't really deal with somebody like Kobe, because he was just like more like, oh, it's just a game, I'm having fun and this, that, and the fourth. And Kobe's like, nah, I want to win. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I'm trying to win. Like I don't know what you came here for, but like having that kind of like that drive. And they said that's something that he always had, that drive, that like, look, I'm going to go get it. It's like he had that get up, that go getter mentality. Like, look, if I don't win, we ain't nothing. It's just a long
But that's a
thing.
good mentality to have in life, because that's how you get a lot of things accomplished.
Yeah.
Um, so with that being said, his
Mhm.
impact, his legacy should impact all of us to strive to be our greatest selves.
Yeah.
And, also fathers with, daughters, take pride in being with your child. Every moment you spend with your children, take that too, because he and his child both perished, and his
Yeah.
wife lost her daughter and her husband. Like,
Yeah. So and it's just like it's for me, like hearing that news, like it was unbelievable to me. And I like this is one of those moments like like it's like kind of like 9/11. You'll always remember where you were at the time. Like I had just came back from the corner store. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm going to run out and get me something to eat. And like
I just woke up.
like I had came in, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna watch like a little bit of the Pro Bowl. And it was just like it was like 5, 10 minutes into the Pro Bowl, and like the announcer said, like, yeah, we're gonna have like a moment of silence for Kobe Bryant. I was like, what? A moment of silence for Kobe Bryant? Like at first, like when you hear that, it's just like I ain't hear that right, like nah. And then they like start talking like more and more into it, and then like immediately me like I go on the internet, I'm just like, nah, this can't be real. I'm just like, nah, I'm looking up like different articles and searching up and seeing all these like different
Yeah,
things.
because I've seen it. It had popped up on my CNN thing, because I always
Mhm.
get like all the different news apps like send me notifications, and it popped up, and I was like, "What? helicopter crash, what? And then I was
Yeah.
like, wait, Kobe's dead. And I just woke up, like, it was like 2 o'clock. I was like, it's crazy. And they were trying to confirm, like, if the kids were on there, they couldn't figure it out. Then they were saying, like, Rick Fox was on there, and it was just like a whole frenzy.
People were saying, like,
it was like a whole bunch of speculations. But then ultimately, even though, like, the people who they were speculating were on there, it's still a tragedy and whole, like, and then dealing with a tragedy on that level is just like, you know, you can grieve for someone you don't know. Like, and I also seen a lot of heated debates that day too about people grieving over someone they don't know. Like, you don't have to know somebody to show empathy. Being empathetic means you feel remorse or you feel that. Being sympathetic, you know, and empathy and sympathy are two different things.
It's one of those things, like, even if you're not like a fan of basketball, like,
I'm not a fan of basketball, and I felt that, like, it hurt me. And I don't watch basketball, but I know Kobe Bryant from Alicia, from, you know, when he was rapping, all of that. So.
And like anyone, like, you know, like, as far as, like, you know, his wife and, you know, her mother, like, you know, they always say the sentiment that, you know, no parent should have to bury their child.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of those things that, like, even if, like, you don't really, like, resonate, like, okay, well, what he did and what the field he was in, it's just like that kind of loss. It's just like, it's impactful. And it's like the biggest thing is just like, it was a traumatic death. You know, it was a helicopter crash.
Even if it's not a traumatic death, even if it's an expected death, grieving is grieving. Like, you can feel. You're a human. You're allowed to feel.
Yeah, but I think it's like you know, it's so like I feel like, and not to take anything, like, away from, but like the fact that it was just like, it was like a sad tragedy. It wasn't just like, okay, like, yeah, he got old. You know, he fell from like kind of like natural causes. It was just like having like that level of trauma. It's just like damn, it's just like you just like be playing so many scenarios, like, different in your head, like, oh man, if he just didn't get on the helicopter.
If it's your time, it's your time. There's no, you can't play the if, ands, but game.
It's hard.
It's just like, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Like, you know, if we live our lives like that, like, if you're meant to get hit by a bus and you know that you're gonna get hit by a bus and you stay inside your house, the bus is gonna crash into your house and kill you. Like, that's just as simple as that. Like,
and then, like, with him being so young, like 41 is just like barely half his lifetime.
Could you imagine being 13?
Yeah.
So
I know, like,
at the end of the day, like, that's just a tragedy all around. But
yeah,
there's been a lot. January has been a very tough month for this year in a whole, like, as a whole month. Like, this whole month seems so long, like, it's not even over yet. And today's what, the 29th, and
seriously,
there's so many people that have died during this month, or so many things that have happened in this month alone. And it's like, so much, like, there was so much negative. It's like it sets a bad tone for the year, but we shouldn't take that as a bad tone. We should still set, you know, our intentions and goals for the year. And, you know, even with all that's happening, just use that as like a stepping stone to move forward and try to, you know, use these to strengthen our goals and stuff for the year. But, you know, it's hard to deal with tragic losses like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, just like, you know, the city of LA, you know, like even they're
dealing with so many tragedies in themselves. We just lost Nipsey last year, like, barely. It's not even a year yet.
And that's why I was just thinking. I was just like, yeah, like, Nipsey just went, and what was that?
We were just like coming to terms with Nipsey.
And I mean, and that's part of the things that I said, like, about being iconic. It's just like the things that they do and, like, the things that they put in place. It's just like, you know, we still talk about, and we still like really remember them for the things that they did. So, you know, they say it's not so much about how you die, it's about how you live, and, like, the things that you set forward. And
as long as you do things, you don't have to do things in public life. As long as you set that tone, like, how people will remember you, then that's the best way to go. Like, you know, your legacy is everything. Like, set a legacy that you want people to remember you for. You don't want people to remember you for, you know, you being petty or doing things. You want to set a good legacy for you know, people to remember you by.
Just with the people immediately around you, you know what I mean? Like, just making sure that you're doing what you can to make a positive imprint on their lives, you know. And this is one thing that I didn't like. It's just like, I got on Facebook, and I wasn't going to say anything publicly about it, like when it happened, but people who really got on there was like really trying to defame his image.
Well, that's what comes with any celebrities.
Yeah, and
you have the group of people who are, you know, diehard fans, and then you have the people who are like, well, get over it, you don't know them. And then you have, you know, the conspiracy theorists who say, you know, the government and the Illuminati did it. So you have your groups of people. All depends on what you allow to affect you in a way. Like, when I was seeing the people talk negatively about Kobe, I just realized that they're miserable people in themselves, And that's just their way of getting attention, like getting attention. That's attention seeking. They're not. There's nothing of substance coming from that. Right. I didn't take them seriously. I didn't go out my way to go in front of anybody. I didn't care because I'm not. I don't take none of that stuff personally. Like I said, a lot of things I don't take personally because that's the reflection of that person, not a reflection of me and how I feel about the situation. Because how I took it, it was like, all right, at the end of the day, I'm not a basketball fan, but at the end of the day, I'm a human, and that is a tragedy in a whole. And then on top of that, to lose your husband, your best friend, like I know a lot of women who have lost their husbands and partners. That's a very hard loss to come from. And then to lose your child in the same day, like that's like hard. Like I couldn't even imagine the type of pain that his wife is feeling right now, because me just losing my ex, and me and him, we talked briefly, and he died on my birthday this year. Like, so me just doing that, and I'm still like grieving that. So then seeing that's just like painful in itself. So, you know, death all around is just like a painful thing, but you have to learn how to grieve appropriately. Let people grieve. Don't tell people how to grieve. Let people grieve. There's different ways that we grieve. And, you know, as long as it's not harmful or destructive to a person, let them grieve the way they want to grieve. You can't tell somebody how to grieve. You can't be like, oh, you can't grieve somebody you don't know. I can grieve whoever I want. I'm connected to everybody. I'm an empath, so I'm connected to people. So at the end of the day, if I want to grieve for somebody and I barely knew them, let me do that. How is that hurting you or impacting you in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I remember this was like a while ago, and like I've been to like a number of funerals in my life. Like, it was like one of my close friends. It was actually his brother. Now I didn't really like know his brother like too well, but his brother like passed at like a really young age. And that was like one of the only funerals that I've been to, like where I really like broke down in tears, because like all I could think is just like, damn, like he's way younger than me, and it kind of hit me. Like, it was just like, and it wasn't the funeral service, it wasn't like the repast. It was just like when I was walking to like the grave site and they started lowering the casket. I kind of like, it was just like right here. I was just like,
that's when you realize that moment in time that it's really like final. Like, I've experienced way more deaths than I could say like that I'd like to have experienced. But you know, the very first death that I experienced was a childhood crush of mine. He actually got hit by a car, and we used to walk to school every day. And you know, going to his funeral and experiencing that, and then having my aunt die right after that, and then my dad die right after that, and then another aunt die right after that, and then my cousin die right after that. Like, it was like back to back for me. So like, I can't say like I'm not impacted so strongly by death, but it's like I'm kind of a little desensitized to it, because like I know it's natural, and because I've had to grieve so many times over and over and over again, it's kind of like, you know, like I'm kind of used to the grieving process. And since I went to therapy and learned how to grieve for people, like, you know, I have to remember all of the people I lost. I've lost so many family members. I've lost family members within the last couple of months. I've lost so it's like I've lost so many people. Like, you know, death is a reoccurring theme for me. Like, it's not something unfamiliar to me. So, you know, that's why I'm okay with, like, you know, when people who don't know somebody show compassion. That's natural. I'm okay with that. I embrace that. Like, I will embrace that more than I'll embrace miserable people being like, oh, well, you know, he was a gangbanger. Oh, he was this and that. Like the reporter who tried to share Kobe's rape article. Like, why? This man just died. He's not even like fully dead yet, and you're already trying to slander the dead man. Just like when they were doing with Nipsey, like when he was like, oh, he's a gangbanger and everything like that. Like, you know, I always feel like you should respect the dead, because, you know, once our souls transition, you should respect the dead. Have respect for the dead. You know, speaking ill of the dead won't do nothing good for you. You're not going to benefit from it. So, you know, why not speak highly of what the person did, you know, their accomplishments. Remember the good things about them. Why do you want to remember all negative things about a person? That just means you're a negative person. That means that's what you're projecting what you feel inside onto the world and stuff like that. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and like this is one thing like that I didn't even know, like, you know, like passing to him, like when we was talking about his legacy, like the things that he did off the court, like as far as like charities and like investments. I didn't even know he was one of the initial investors in like Body Armor, the energy drink. Like, I know you see like sometimes they got like all these like kind of different flavors, whatever. But he was like one of like the actual initial investors in that, like as far as like with Alibaba too, and also in LegalZoom. Like like they said, like after retirement, like he really got heavy into like his investments. And then, of course, doing his what was it, the Mama Basketball Academy, like where his daughter was on and stuff like that. So it's just like, and like you said, the things that like that the impacts that they make aren't always like televised. You know what I mean? Like even with like Nipsey Hussle, like when he opened up like the Marathon clothing store, like the people who knew about it, like that was like a big platform for him. But it was just like some of the things like I said,
and we don't learn about a lot of things that people do until they die, because a lot of people just do things and are just doing them, and we don't really care because we're like, all right, they're doing it, like they're living their lives. Like a lot of y'all wouldn't know a lot of things that we're doing because we just do them. We're just doing them. We're just carrying out our regular responsibilities in life. Like this is something that we're doing. But I just feel like it was just like the way how the whole thing went down, and it just showed like how insensitive some people are too.
Yeah. Like, so I mean, like
when it comes to death, especially celebrities, especially high profile men, like, and I've noticed that even with high profile like people of color, like we've been getting more praise lately. Like when Nipsey was getting all that praise, here comes that one person that has to be like, well, he was a gangbanger, and it's like, so like, what?
Like, all right, here you go. Like you talking like, and like, how you gonna sit there and like try to defame like?
They'd be like, oh, nobody was bumping Nipsey before. Yes, people were. There were people who were there. He had dedicated fans. If his mixtape cost $100 and he sold that out, there were people who were dedicated to Nipsey. Okay, there were diehard Nipsey Hussle fans in life and death. So people saying that and saying whatever, like, oh, who's really like no, who's checking for Kobe? Everybody was checking for Kobe. Kobe just was with LeBron when he passed him before that. So
that's what they were saying. He was like in such like immediate attention for that because LeBron had passed him, and he praised them up and said keep the. It was kind of like foreshadowing because he was just like just keep the process going.
It's kind of like he handed the torch off and it was like, all right, peace out, world, I'm out. Like,
and I can't even imagine like what his head was going through. Like
LeBron was just he's still a mess. Like I'm not convinced he's fully like. Nobody's can fully recover. This just happened Sunday. We're not even a week into it yet.
Yeah, so seriously. And like I said, it's just like and not to take away from anybody's death, but like I said, you see kind of like the impact that they have when like the memorial carries out for so long. Like you said, we still talking about Nipsey to this day. We still gonna be talking about Kobe Bryant today.
Tupac, Biggie,
like
a lot of influential people on our eras that we speak on a lot of time. Like like I'm not a big Biggie fan.
They gotta keep Kendrick alive. They gotta keep Kendrick alive.
If they kill the Weeknd, I'm flipping shit over. That's it. It's done. But that's one thing. Like, and then also I learned. And I wanted to share with you guys, the 7 stages of grief, because, since a lot of y'all don't know how to grieve properly, I figured I would share that with y'all so that y'all can learn how to do that. But that's later on in life.
When you say, like, don't grieve properly, like, what do you mean? Like, what's some of the things that people do? Like,
projection. I'm going to use a lot of therapy terms. When they project a lot of their own personal, like, feelings towards situations or project their own personal, like, life into things instead of actually taking time to take yourself out of the situation and be like, this is something that someone else has to really live with and feel. Let me take my personal feelings, let me stop being an ass, and let me actually think about how this is really impacting somebody's life. Like his wife is going to bed and waking up knowing that her husband and daughter are not coming home. Like she's waking up and going to bed every day. Like I'm pretty sure every 24 hours right now from Sunday has been hell. She probably isn't sleeping, eating, or anything. Like, and having a good support system is great, but grieving something like that, it doesn't matter how many people you have around you. That hole in you, nobody can fill it at that moment in time. And it's like each day it gets a little smoother, it gets a little better, but it's like hard.
Yeah, some of those days it's hard. I remember one of my close friends, she actually lost her both of her parents, and it was just like. She was just like, oh yeah, some days it's getting better, but it'll be like, it might be something small that just like kind of like set her off. And then she kind of like, for a while, she had to like keep going away. And it's like, oh, I really need a moment. I guess it's hard.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm still grieving the loss of my ex-boyfriend. Like I walk around like I'm fine. And having him die tragically on my birthday and getting that call while I'm in Las Vegas on my birthday, like, I really broke down. I was like, this is really like crazy. Like I can sit up here and talk to y'all now on the show because like I'm learning how, like I'm going through the grieving process myself. But some days I do have moments where I just look at the pictures and be like, damn, like like this was my homie at the end of the day, like so it's like death is a real thing. It's not something to joke about. Like
It's
This is
one of those
life.
things that we don't want to think about. Fortunately, I won't like it's gonna come a day, but fortunately, like I haven't lost anybody that's like been extremely close to me. Like
I've lost so many people so close to
yeah,
me.
like I wouldn't say like any like immediate family members. I would say like the closest, like one of my brother's friends. Like we were actually like pretty close, but that was more so like my brother's friend than my
Yeah.
friend. But like none of my immediate like close like super close friends or none of my
Like
family
I
members.
lost
That was like
I lost my cousin right after we left high school, and that death was just like crazy because I was supposed to go to that party that night and I didn't go, but my sister went and she talked to my cousin right before he died. So it's like, these deaths really impact you in ways that you understand. So, people who take light of like people dying, it's not funny. It's not something to joke about. Like, this is real life. Like, there are people out there who are really hurting behind this. Like, people who are close to these people who are really hurt, and they really have to learn how to grieve. And you should just respect the dead. If you don't have nothing to contribute that's positive, that's impactful, that will, honor the dead, keep it to yourself.
And I don't know if you guys noticed recently, he's actually like really well known in like the Mercer County area. Doc Long is actually Nia Long and Samora Long's dad. He actually passed like I think the past couple days. So I don't think it was
I think it was
Sunday.
Monday
Monday, yeah.
Monday.
Doc Long actually passed too. Like
He was a teacher at Trenton High, right? Something like that.
yeah, Trenton High, and I think also like at Princeton. I think he was at Princeton University for quite some time. He's actually like a really close friend of my dad's too. And I forgot where I heard it from, and I was just like,
I
wait a
seen it
minute.
on Facebook.
Yeah, and then I need to talk to my dad about that more recently. But yeah, him and my dad, like they're both very like heavy like in the literary arts. So like like they had like a real like close relationship when it came like to like reading and writing poetry and spoken word. They did like a lot of like the plays together. So it's just like it's it's tough, you know what I mean? Like, and then again, even like opening up like another former NFL Hall of Famer player died again today at like 58. It's just like I don't know what's going on with 2020, but it's just like I don't know. It's difficult,
It's
but
just a year of realization that life is short
hmm
and precious,
and that's
and give people their flowers while they can still smell them.
hmm
Because if you don't, you're going to spend your life regretting the moments that you should have did something, could have did something, or would have done something.
yeah.
So just be there, be present in the moment of life. Don't wait until somebody dies. You're like, dang, I should have did this, that, and the third thing with the person. No, be present then, like in that moment in time. Like that's why I'm handling the death of my ex-wife, because we were able to sit down and talk before he died, like, and hash everything out from when we broke up to even up until recently. Like we talked about those things, and we got closure from those things, and we were able. And I told him that in life how I felt and how I felt about everything, even up until recently, how I felt about everything in life. So that's why I'm able to process this so well. And a lot of people who can't process people's death well because they feel like they didn't have enough time with the person, or they didn't get to tell the person what they want. No, tell them how you feel. Tell the person how you feel right then and there. I mean, that doesn't mean go and rekindle old flames that you should definitely keep extinguished, but definitely,
At least
at the moment in time, let people know how you feel about them. If you love somebody and you cherish them, tell them that. Show them that. Make them feel that while they're alive. Don't sit and cry over a grave because they can't feel that.
yeah.
They're decomposing. They can't feel that.
And like you said, even if you're not rekindling any flames, just make sure it's like no hard feelings between y'all. You want to make sure like you don't want to like all right, like what happened. We move past this. I wish you the best. You wish me the best, and then we move on from there. Like that's an important thing.
Yeah, just
But I remember you saying like you kind of wanted to go like through the 7 stages of grief, and like because this is something that could like really like help a lot of people like in the future and like really understand like even though they get like the immediate shock, like okay,
there's other parts to it
what
of
else?
grieving
What
that
else
you
can
don't
I
realize
do
you
to?
go through, and you might be stuck at one part and you don't understand how to move past that, and that's okay. Like grieving is not a one-way street. It's not a straight line. Like you don't just grieve and then you get over it. Like people can grieve for years. My dad has been dead for 21 years. I'm still grieving his death. 21 years. I'm still grieving that. I'm 28 years old. So at the end of the day, you can grieve for as long as you want, just as long as you understand the steps and the process that it takes to grieve, and just grieve, at your own pace, but grieve properly. Don't lash out at people and things like that. Like if you feel like you're gonna get that way, give yourself some space and time. Like
Facts.
You know, that's the best way to do it. Like, give yourself space, because when you become overwhelmed, like we always get like, you know, the animal back in the corner feeling, like then you have to lash out and do things. And you know, when you're grieving and you're sad and all these emotions are in you, you don't know what to do. So I had wrote down the 7 stages of grief, which basically are shock and denial, and then it's the pain and guilt, and then you have anger and bargaining, depression, but then you have the upward turn, reconstruction, and working through it, and then the final stage, which is acceptance and hope.
That's the hardest stage to get to.
It's the hardest one to get to. A lot of us get stuck in the depression stage and we never get out of that, because it's like, you know, especially if you feel like you didn't fulfill what you needed to fulfill with that person, then you really just get stuck in that like depression of like, I wish this person was here so I could tell them one last time this, or I wish this person was here so I can do this one last thing with them. Or you might hear a song and be like, wow, this person would really love this song right now. Like this was our song. And, you know, you have to remember that, you know, let people live a full life and let people live their full lives. Mm. And even if you feel like your life was cut short, your purpose was not, you know, not forgotten. You've served your purpose here. Your time is complete. Mm. Nothing is without purpose. So everything that you do in life, make sure that you leave something, an imprint on the people that you're around and people that they're around, and anybody, because you never know who's watching you and what you do and accomplish. Because before this, I didn't know that Gianna Bryant was playing basketball. Mm-hmm. I didn't know a lot about the Bryant family. Again, like I said, I don't follow basketball. I don't follow sports. I'm not a sports fanatic. Like I don't follow sports. Mm-hmm. But hearing how and seeing her highlight tapes and seeing, I was like, wow, this little girl really had potential. But you know what? Her purpose was served because UConn honored her. So many different people honored them in death and life, because Kobe was honored in life. Mm-hmm. He was honored multiple times. They never let him forget that he was iconic in life and in death. And I think that's why his death will be, it's tragic, but I feel like as a whole, we'll be able to accept it as the days go forward, because we honored him in life so many ways. Even in his retirement, he was being honored in every shape and form.
Like they said, like when we was playing ball, like everybody was just like Kobe.
Yeah, like he was getting love. Like Dave Chappelle had the Kobe skit. Everybody had, like, we all did. Like you've all been there. Like in school when you shot that piece of paper, and I do that at work. Like I used to do that at work. I'll be in work at my desk like Kobe.
You be in the spirit.
So do it now. Like even when you do it now, don't do it like, you know, and be somber about it. Do it and just be like Kobe.
We should wear like on his birthday. We should wear like purple and gold.
Yeah, like you know. And I loved how every city was honoring Kobe with the purple and gold. I shared a lot of the Trent Mix World Takes Bridge when it was purple and gold. Philly was really nice. Italy, they took the week off this week to honor him, because, you know, he lived in Italy for some time growing up out there. So, you know, I learned a lot about Kobe through his death. Like I learned a lot about Nipsey through his death. Like I learned a lot, and I take this time to learn about these people because I want to learn about the good that they did, the impact that they made on people, so that when I'm sharing their story, I'm sharing their story through a positive light. I don't want to share what else he did outside of that, what he was accused of, or whatever people wanted to say about him negatively. That's not gonna help y'all. That's not gonna help remembering him.
Yeah, because you gotta figure when the kids get older, they gonna start asking. They was just like, well, who was the greatest basketball?
And they're gonna say Kobe.
Like who's gonna say Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant?
Like I agree with everybody saying that they should change the NBA logo to Kobe. I think it should have been changed to somebody who was more recent. I don't even know who the person is on it now.
They said Jerry West. They said that's actually a silhouette of him. He just never came forward but they said the original illustrator of it. He said that's where he got that was the still shot of Jerry West. And he was like, well, I didn't even know. He was like, I told him to change it. But
so I didn't know that. I feel like it should be Kobe. It's an honorary thing. Like 2K, put the little iron Kobe in there. Like that was really fast. That just shows also that they also have all y'all stuff in sync in cloud. But that's another thing for another day.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's crazy. Like with the internet, it's just as soon as it happened, within days, everybody had something new, like a new product or a new piece of art that they did, or
they actually had to stop the production or the sales of his shoes, because they didn't want the resellers to get it and try to sell them at higher prices. They want to make sure that
because
it's not that right. People do that a lot about death, how you're profiting off somebody's death. That's sick.
Yeah, I mean, you got those people that's gonna learn how to capitalize off of any situation. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think at the same time, I think it's kind of like I don't know. So it's like depending on how you look at it, because like Jordan's like, oh yeah, we gonna make the new like Kobe's or whatever. Like, it's gonna be like a new like a black a new purple and gold Jordan. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, if you do that, make sure all the proceeds go to like
The family.
either his family or like a memorial to him or like
Or go to the school, because think about all those kids that were waiting for them to come.
Mm-hmm.
Their coaches died. Like
Yeah.
a whole family was taken out, basically the Altabello family that we're not even talking about, like mother, father, and the child. Like, so you have to think about a lot of people who were lost.
And it was another mother and daughter on there.
And then the coach who left her kids behind and her husband, and the pilot too, who died and left his family behind. So you have to think about all these people who perished in this, not just Kobe, and think about all these people who lost their lives within an instant.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying like recently, it was like, well, why he was taking started taking a helicopter, and he was just saying like, I mean, it boiled it down to his family life. He was saying like he didn't want to be stuck in like 2 hour LA traffic when he could just take a helicopter and get everywhere. It's just like, oh yeah, I can still practice and go to games and everything and still have time for my family. And that's an important thing that, like, you know, he never, like, even though he wanted to achieve that level of greatness, he still never forgot about his family. He still never wanted to sacrifice time with his family. And that's one thing that really is important, you know, making sure that we're not too busy for our loved ones. You know what I mean? That is something that I think that we can also take away from this, and making sure that, like, no matter how busy our lives or our schedules or whatever we want to accomplish, that we don't forget to take out that time for our loved ones. That is very important, because like you said, again, with untimely deaths, you don't want to feel like, okay, damn, I wish I would have spent more time, or damn, I wish I would have
done this. I felt that with my grandmother when she passed away.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she was in a nursing home for 10 years, and I was like, dang, I should have just went up there. Like, you know, when I got my license, I was just ripping and running. I was like, I should have just went up there and been brushing her hair and, you know, doing stuff. But I wanted to be a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, you know what happens, but it's again, like you said, it's untimely. You never really know. One of my aunts passed in New York, and I didn't really, you know, like, I'm not super close with my family in New York, but you know, we went to like a couple of the functions there. I wish I would have known about it, so I could have went to the service, but I mean, you know, things like this happen. And I mean, like, you know, just with the other people that passed, like, over the recent years, you know, like with Charlie Murphy, you know, everybody remember the Rick James
Prince,
hit.
Michael Jackson. The world stopped when Michael Jackson died.
Yeah.
I was getting my braces taken off when Michael Jackson died.
I was down.
And the radio was like, Michael Jackson is dead. And everybody was like, what?
Yeah. I was down in Delaware. It was my best friend and his family. We was like spending like, I think, like a week down there, going to like Rehoboth Beach or whatever. And like, yeah, it was like right there, like in the motel room, and like we heard about it. We just like, what? And it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, people always remember, like, when these like iconic people was one of those things, because they had such a high impact. You always want to remember, like, I was here on this day. This what happened.
I remember everywhere I was at. Like, when I learned Prince died, I was at work. When Michael Jackson died, I was getting my braces taken off. Like, I was in the orthodontist. I was like, what? Michael Jackson's not dead. Yeah. He's not dead.
It's so unbelievable that it's just like again, like, you just like, yo, it's not real. Like, I'm not really hearing this. Like, I'm not hearing this. But yeah, I'm saying this right now. I got a debate. It's Kobe's birthday. You gotta wear purple and gold, and you gotta put like the number 8 or 24 on that. I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna
try to see if I can find a purple and gold jersey dress. Do it up one time with the K-Swiss. do a throwback edition for you guys. Do a throwback, you know. Yatta Debates for y'all. Because like I said, I wasn't really like a basketball fan. Like, the closest fanatic thing that I had was what you call it? What's that team that Steph Curry played for?
Golden State?
Yeah, I had a Golden State jersey dress.
Yeah.
I did.
The bandwagon and that.
No, this was back in like when I was in like middle school, early high school days. Like, I had everybody who knows this, who went to Franklin knows, I had the Golden State jersey dress. So it was blue. It was blue and yellow. And it was, oh man, those are the good old days. But yeah, I wish I could find it. But you know.
I mean, at the end of the day, we gotta see what's
vintage.
Yeah, we gotta see what's left for the rest of 2020. Like, again,
I feel like 2020 is gonna be it started off like with a lot of bangers, like a lot of crazy stuff has happened in the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be negative about it, because like I said, this this month alone has set a negative tone for us. So if we just go into the year with that negative mindset, it's not going to be a good year. It's going to be a very crazy, turbulent, rough, hard year. But if we go into this and take away from these things, like take away the positives from all of these negative things that happen, and go into it in my state like, all right, these things have happened. I cannot change these things. These things have occurred. I must learn to live with them and also reflect on how I can be a better person in life and move forward with that. Make this your year.
Yeah, like
let this be your Kobe year, even if you're not, whatever numbers he is, 8 and 24. Let this be your Kobe year regardless. Let 2020 be your Kobe year. And when we do hit 2024, we should have like a big Kobe celebration in 8/24. Like,
hey, I like the sound
and
of that.
do the whole month of August 2024 just Kobe'd out.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying, like, and again, like, I'm not a basketball fan, so I don't really, I don't have much to contribute as far as like the sports side of it, but the human side of it, and me being a human and feeling, I have compassion and I feel very deeply for that family, and I feel very deeply for a lot of people.
Imagine if you lost one of your daughters, like you're like,
bro, if I was one of my kids, I would not be on shows. I would not be nothing. I wouldn't. I would probably like take me with them. Like I would be that parent that would jump in the ground with my child. Like I'm not doing that. Like no, like watching my grandmother like try to like jump into my dad's grave, like that really traumatized me. I was 7. I was 7 when I seen that. So like, could you imagine? Like I'm 28 now. I was 7 when I saw that. Like, my aunt losing her son. Like seeing people lose their children. That's a hard loss. Losing your parent is hard. Yes, it's very hard. But you have to remember, like, one thing I learned is that even as young as my dad was 33. So even as young as my dad was, he lived his life. Losing your kid, they didn't even have a chance to live. So it's like, no, I could never bear that. When my kids were babies, I used to like go and stick my finger under their nose to make sure they were breathing. Like, and I would like poke them and be like, hey,
you alive? Hey, wake up. Wake up.
And when they would squirm, I'd be like, okay, thank God. Let me not wake the baby up. Like, all right, cool. But then they wake up and I'm like, damn.
I gotta put them back to sleep.
But then I'd be happy because I'm like, okay, cool, they're alive. Like, you're all right, cool.
So that's important, and that's why you said, just let your loved ones and anybody that you think. She said she probably she be poking babies.
I do. I poke my little babies. I don't poke them hard. It's a little poke just to make sure like,
that's
hey, you breathing?
That's a little tip for when you start having kids.
Yeah, just hey, you're gonna like when you become a parent, you're really gonna realize how paranoid you are and really realize how fragile life is. Like, because then you're like, yo, I have to take care of this little life. Like, I still do that now. My kids are big kids, and I still go in their room sometimes. I'm like, hey. Sometimes I'm like, hey, wake up. I'm like, it's not school time yet. I'm just all right. Go back to sleep.
I'm just checking. But yeah, it was like the funniest thing. As soon as I walked into the house, like my little cousin came and my aunt was trying to put him to sleep. As soon as I walked in the door, he looked up at me like, because he know that I come in like around that time. But like again, like just seeing him like grow like things like that, I'll be devastated if anything happens. Like I pray for have a long, happy, healthy life, and that's the most important thing.
And even if you don't have a long, healthy life, just be happy and be present. That's it. All that other stuff is irrelevant. Like we stress about so many things. You know how many things those people who are dead had planned for the next day that they didn't do? Be present, be happy, and be engulfed in happiness. Be happy with yourself and life and be present, because you don't know when you're going to get called. You do not know that. You don't know when you probably pass your death date every year and don't even realize it. So just live, be present, be in the moment, love the people you love with all of you in you, and just be there, be in the moment. And if you do lose someone that you love, grieve and grieve appropriately. If you feel like it's overwhelming, go to therapy or find somebody that you trust to talk to and, find a good support system. Make sure that you have people around you who really care about you and your well-being, and that you can vent to about these things, because, dealing with the death is hard. It's hard. It's a hard thing to deal with. It's not something simple, and it's not something that's straight through. Like somebody can't just talk through like, yeah, you just do this, you'll be over it like that. Like it's not a simple thing. Like you need a good support system to deal with death. Yeah. So
And for 2020, here's what I'm going to say in light to these events. Go into it with the Mamba mentality. I got to win by all means. You know what I mean? I got to get it.
And this is why I said that. Let this be your Kobe year. Take away from him being a competitive spirit and let this be your year where you be like, I want to win all year. Like, that's it. This is the year that I win. No excuses, no ifs, ands, buts, or maybe. Win. Do it. If not for any other reason, do it for yourself. Do it for happiness, do it for self-preservation, do it for your legacy, whatever, because you don't know when it's going to be your last 24. Mm-hmm. So live your life. Live it to the fullest.
And that's why y'all see us here every Wednesday on Yatta Debates.
Being committed to this.
Being committed to this and making sure that we're here with new material for you guys. You know, go and get it. 2020. Me and Shelly, even in the midst of us being sick, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, you know, we were here with the Mamba mentality.
Yeah, because we could have easily just been like, oh, we sick, you know, we'll do this next week, like whatever. No, we're here sniffling, telling y'all, you know, live your best life this year. Like, seriously, make sure that your life is good. Make sure that you leave a legacy behind that you would be proud of. If you were to hit the dirt right now, you would be like, I'm proud of all the stuff that I've done with my life. Like, if I was to hit the dirt right now, I'm proud because I've accomplished a lot of things that I didn't think that I was capable of. So don't be afraid to live your life.
Preach.
Live it. Live it. Let this be your 24. Let this be your number 24 year. Let this be your Kobe year. I'm telling you guys. I'm gonna start saying that to y'all. I'm gonna post statuses about this. I'm gonna start doing that, preaching that. I'm like, is this your Kobe year? Did you practice self-care today?
Facts.
Like, so let this be your year. I'm gonna push everybody that I know. Like, be great. All of us are great. We're all capable of being great. And take away from Kobe's death that you could be a regular, average person. You can be a kid from Philly, from wherever, and be great. Don't let your circumstances around you stop you. Don't let your environment around you stop you. Nothing stops you.
You sound like one of the motivational YouTube speakers.
I do. I sound like a life coach.
What's the homie name? Eric something? Or either great or something like that. I forgot. The motivational speaker. I forgot his name.
I forget.
But he always just like, yo, you got to succeed. That dude.
Yes. Like, I'm gonna be that motivational speaker. I'm gonna put my finger out like I'm gonna be that guy from that commercial. Like, did you go to school? Did you enroll? That commercial.
the Everest commercial.
The Everest commercial. Like, get up off that couch. You not doing nothing to better yourself.
Right. And he know when the catch is. He always caught you on the Maury and the Jerry Springer channel. Yep. Like, damn. You know, like,
you know I'm home from school watching these shows. So really, on a serious note, like, live your best life. If you're afraid to travel, if you're afraid to do something you're afraid to do this year.
Yeah.
Take a trip somewhere. You don't have to go somewhere exotic or extravagant. Take a road trip. Go see something. Go to Niagara Falls. Drive somewhere. That's where I want to go. Go to Myrtle Beach. Go to Ocean City, Maryland if you don't want to drive far. Do something. Just do something that you can say that, all right, I didn't sit around this year and do nothing. I didn't impact anything. If you want to start a business, try. Fail. And be like, hey, I did it. I was able to start a business. And even if it didn't work out, do it again. Like, just keep doing it. Don't give up. That's the only thing that I'm going to say to you guys. Don't ever give up because you never know who's watching you and you never know the impact that you have on other people in life and death.
Yeah. So we get so much love here on Yatta Debates. So as always, if you are new to the channel, please like this video and subscribe. And if you are like one of our consistent viewers, please share the video, everything that helps.
Watch party, share it, let people know about the show, talk about it, be about it.
And again, you know, we're also apologies for the episode last year. We were dealing with some connectivity issues, but you know,
we got some great meme contact though. We got some great meme contact out of it.
So always, as thank you on Yatta Debates, keep watching, and we will be back with another episode.
Yes. So, you know, like I said, like, share, and do it. The links for the YouTube are on my page, but I'll also post them up again for you guys and send them out. So just let me know if you need the link for the YouTube, and we're signing out. See you later.